Welcome to today's case study. We are Anthony Restoration, mitigation specialist with master certifications, the IICRC, and a licensed general contractor. So let's go. All right, so the rules: use yes 500 if you're doing water damage, and no personal information, no bashing. We're not here to sell you anything. We're just here to be a friendly face in a difficult time and help educate you so that you can use this in either your business, your home, or for your improvement. Okay, so with all being said, let's talk about the problem. All right, so phone call comes in. Customer has water damage from a unit above. Okay, so what's the scope of this particular project? Two condos involved, two floors. Who are the people involved? How many dogs? How many things, what's really there? Two condo owners, zero tenants, and sensitivities are being reported. Okay, like a cough, a sneeze, something's going on. Sometimes it could be older age, or it could be asthma, it could be something, that's just reported to you at some point. So that's just something we have to take into consideration. Complications. All right. So the above unit did not mitigate. We were called in on day 4 after the lower condo unit noticed the leak. So essentially, you've got roughly an estimated 36 to 72 hours before things start to grow. And we usually use 36 hours just because things happen quickly, especially in really tight and really compressed and bound spaces. Okay. But in this situation, this was day 4 on the lower condo, but it was actually, I don't know, it was like day 7 or something. So this was day 4. And then above here, if you see this was on like day 7. So you're going, all right, if I got 36 hours, which is roughly a day and a half, okay, or it is a day and a half. And if I've got a window of about 72 hours, sort of max, so we'll, 1.5 days, okay, 36 hours to 72 hours, which is, I think, 3 days. So we're already past that here. We're well past that here. So what is the situation? So we did an initial assessment, kind of looked in, said, all right. And, once we had began, our first thing is to get as much information as we can about this top unit. What's really happening here? How much water flowed down? How long was it? Okay, so we're not going to know everything, but know a little bit about what's going upstairs. Okay, now we're in only this unit below, and it's the only one we have access to. Okay, so not sure how to do that. Maybe I'll just put a little squiggly mark there. So we only have access to this unit. So what we knew is there was some sort of overflow of water, and it flowed onto a bathroom floor and then found its way downstairs. So we've got something kind of happening like this. There doesn't seem to be anything this way, or this way, or this way, or this way. So we can kind of confidently say, okay, well, this water has made it down here. Now let's look for the signs of this. Now let's see, in buildings, condo units have a kind of a negative plume, and all, that is like an area above your drywall ceiling where they put things like pipes, and they put different types of things. We'll just call it pipes. Okay. The plumbing and things like that, they run through these buildings in kind of odd ways. Okay. And, we never really know what's going on, but we just know this exists. Okay. And if you're a condo owner, you're like, oh, I had no idea. Like, well, that's what we're hoping to help you with, is the fact that this actually does exist. And if you've ever looked up here, you're going to see, somewhere around, it depends, can be a few inches, but usually it's about a foot, and maybe a little bit longer than that, like 2 feet usually. So some kind of plume, and and you can have a drywall ceiling, or you could have a floating ceiling or something like that. There's so many different options here. But in this scenario, we had drywall, okay? And then we knew there was a plume here of some sort. And we said, okay, so if this water came down here, how are we going to see what's going on? So just to give you a for instance, all right, these are the photos that we took. I know the one on the left is a little bit blurry. So when we got in there, it was coming into the closet. Okay, so it was going into that room, all right, and then it was coming in right here, and we can actually visibly see it. And then it kind of, I don't know how to say it, like it kind of flowed that way, and then it came down this wall and flowed this way. Also, in asking questions, it actually came out of the the ventilation. What is that thing? Like a fan in the bathroom, and it was actually dripping down onto the floor just like that. So if you're me and you come into the situation, I just want to know, where is the boundary? Where, do you really get it all? Right. And so we could confidently say it was not in this room out here. We could confidently say it was definitely not past maybe that line there. And we are pretty sure it wasn't really, past this. And what we started to do is starting to rule out, did it get to the floor? Did it get to the floor? Like, where's the damage really at? And then, obviously, how severe is it? So this is sort of kind of the initial set, of what we saw, right? And gosh, how many colors can I use here? So um so let's see if I have a picture of the closet. So I don't think I do. Yeah, I do. Here we go. So this was a picture of the closet. It had a custom built-in in the closet, and this particular homeowner these are brand new. So she really wants to save these. Okay, and I'll just tell you right now, we did save them. But the water had actually come underneath the shelving and kind of went down to the floor, just like that, on the inside of this closet. And I'm looking for the photo, but I don't know where it is. So that's kind of like our initial thought is, hey, where does water go? What's going to be impacted here, and what are we potentially going to lose? And, what do we want to save? And I want to save everything, but we're in day 4 and potentially day 7 from the unit above. So, ew, that could be really murky or kind of nasty behind there. Okay. So what are some of the first considerations? What's going on above here? So, is it clean or is it dirty? Okay. What does a visual inspection show? Okay. We could see the wood. We don't see anything growing. So let's put a preventative measure up there, and let's use a wet fogger of some kind, and stick some antimicrobial up into that area before anything happens, or just deter it from happening. Okay, so we don't have to take out that whole ceiling and then further impact this particular person. So yeah, that's something that we have to think of. Secondly is, where is this place? All right, and can't really show any. Anyway, all you need to know is there was just a big walk. There's a big long walk in. Okay. So those are things that those are pretty long, and it was 100 feet inside. So you had to bring all your equipment in and obviously do the work, but that's just a consideration to make when this is going on. All right, let's see. So what did we end up doing? Okay. We ended up putting some holes for airflow, and we didn't want to knock this out at all. We did not want to do that. So instead of doing that, we decided to just drill some holes and see if the wall responds to the drying. Now the water had actually come through here and all the way to right here. And I think it was like right here. So it had come just inside of this custom set, or whatever you're going to call these custom closet set. And but the good news was it had not swollen yet. So it was looking pretty good. And so, our goal was, let's get the heat up, let's get some airflow in there, and then let's monitor it, and let's monitor areas like this doorway right here, really tight areas where there's framing, and just see if it responds. And that sort of thing. So what we did was, let's go back to the other photo. We went in and we took these baseboards off. We recommended the vanity was definitely swollen on both sides and wet. Actually, it was wet on the entire bottom of this. And so we recommended that this piece to be replaced. We would obviously do our best to save this part, okay? But this is swollen and it's likely not going to get better, and I'll show you a picture later. And they said, hey, can we wait? Can we wait? Can we wait? And I said, okay, well, it's not the best thing to do, but it's recommended that we do it as soon as possible. So this is the S500. Restorers should identify and eliminate moisture migration below and behind built-in cabinets or fixtures. A complete inspection can require drilling holes in inconspicuous areas and evaluating levels of moisture. And when removal is necessary for cleaning or drying, should be completed, near the beginning of the project. So we had already seen that it was swollen, and that was our initial recommendation. So we came back in a couple days, and they said, hey, can we wait a little bit longer? I said, sure. We ended up waiting a lot longer than we wanted to, but sometimes that's just how these things go. You can recommend things, but it just sort of how it works. So anyway, so we put some equipment in. We put some air movers of different types, trying to get enough airflow both in here, and here, and in here. We didn't see any visible microbial growth, so I wasn't necessarily worried about all these personal belongings in here. So I said, let's dry it as quick as we can. And if there's no stinks, no smells, then that's a good thing. So we've got some dehumidifiers, we've got some air scrubbers, we've got some air movers. Okay, that convection is going to cause some good airflow. Anywhere where there was a baseboard or somewhere where there could be trapped water, we're going to try to dry it along with the drywall. And since we didn't see any visible signs of growth nor smells, it's worth taking a shot. Now, when we finally got in there, and on our third recommendation, we did end up removing that vanity. This is just the granite top, I think, and maybe some of the plumbing and the doors, trying to save the face of the cabinets. So maybe they don't have to be fully redone again, or they'll be trashed later. Never really know. So we try to save some of these things to cut on cost. So then we monitor this for a period of however long it takes to reach a dry standard. So making this very basic, dry standard in this situation was probably right around 12. And we want to get it within a tolerance of this dry standard. And tolerance is usually right around 10%, but just depends. It really, really depends. And each structure, each building, it can be different, that sort of thing. So we started off really, really wet. Okay, this is wet, and this is dry. And so what we did was we monitored the property as it kind of went down, And as soon as we got really close or underneath where we believe that dry standard to be based on that structure, then this is where we kind of end our services for that equipment, and that's when equipment should be removed and pulled. Okay. All right. So what are the other things that we ran into? All right. So, hey, behind this vanity, there's little cavities here. Okay. This is where water can hide. Okay. And we might not have known about it because of a weird curve in the wall and that sort of thing. We also have wood that's sticking right up to maybe, I don't know, I think this might be wood or drywall right here. So there might not be any airflow there. Okay. And this is an area kind of through the wall, just looking in and seeing, hey, is that insulation wet? Is there some funkiness growing up here? Is there any nasty stuff here that we need to be worried about? And in all cases, we didn't see any visible growth. Here is the ceiling in the plume area. Okay, that's just where the structure is, and some of the plumbing and all those things. And look at the drywall. And you can look even with your eyes real nice here and go, yeah, it looks pretty clean. Usually we would see some formation of something kind of nasty right in here. Or, and in this situation, we did not see that. So that was a good thing. Okay, so this sort of checked out. Then we got down to the wood. And this is the wood of the subfloor of the above unit. Okay, and usually we'll see some patches of some greens or some weird colors or something like that. And there's just no sign of visible growth, both at the beginning and at the end of the project. So that's great, great, great news. Okay. Now let's go back to Mr. Cabinet. Unfortunately, Mr. Cabinet did get removed. Okay, so he got removed. We made a little cut here in the drywall just to look in. Okay, not going too invasive, but definitely want to have visibility this way, so we can see what's going on here. So there's nothing hiding outside of our view. And as you can see, the floor looks pretty clean. So that's good, good, good. And then here's the cabinet. So this is the main reason why these cabinets get removed. They have this MDF, medium density floor. I don't know what it's in. It's this wood type, okay? And all you need to know, just keep this really, really simple, is this is like particle board, cardboard, and it creates all these little areas for things to grow in, okay? So all these little things can grow in here and grow in here and grow in here. And this was after several days of drying. This is swollen. This is funky looking, and it was still wet. So, this is why we understand that these things need to go right away in order to, you keep this, nastiness from happening and from cross-contaminating. But, we're glad we got it out, but this is the why behind it. All right. And then the final picture. All right. So final picture, I think so. Let me see. Yep. All right. Final picture. So final picture here in the bathroom, no impact to the floor, no impact to the drywall, no impact here. Sorry, Mr. Vanity. No impact to this wall. Same thing in the closet. Save the bedroom, keep everything from getting worse. And that's a job well done. Okay. So, hey, we hope that these insights we shared today, they have been informative and helpful and useful for you. And we really thank you for your time. We'll see you on the next one.